Hello, my name is Beata. I'm from tarotnumerologiczny.pl, and today I would like to share with you one of my deck. It's my newest deck. I have bought it about a month ago. It's the Thelema Tarot. Well, at the beginning I should say that this is my first video ever, therefore please forgive me if it's not perfect. Well, let's start. As I said, this is the Thelema Tarot. It's made by Los Carabeo. It comes with a really nice solid box that actually you can keep the cards inside and store it. It's very nicely decorated. So let's see what is inside. Oh yeah, I have a booklet little in here. It was together with a book, a little book actually. What is very nice in this book, well, let's start in here. It's actually in 5 different languages, so it's in English, Italian, Spanish, French, and German. But what is really nice in this little booklet is, of course, you will have a little description of the meanings of the cards, but what is very nice, every card starts with a little sentence, and you can see scripted in here all the symbols contained in the card. So it is really nice to see what it is, what do they mean, and these kind of information you will find for major arcana, but also for the minor arcana as well. So it is really nice little book to read. But let's check the cards. It's made by Renata Lechner, or designed by Renata Lechner, and it's really beautiful cards. Well, let's say first, this is just the protecting card, the beginning, and at the end you have the Los Carabeo card with a little invitation, a special tarot invitation. If someone is interested in, you can check it out. So, the cards themselves are rather glossy, not very, but rather glossy, so I do forgive if you will see this in a picture. In the reverse, it is very beautiful cosmos with the famous mark of Thelema. But for those who are using the reverse cards, at the first moment you might not notice it, but actually when you look closely you can see when the card is reversed. So it's just an information for those who are using reversed cards. Well, this is the Fool. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but the Fool card is like in a green mist. It's like covered with a green shade. At the beginning I thought it's a failure of this card, but obviously it's supposed to be like this. Well, in general, the symbols in this deck is similar to Rider-Waite-Smith tarot, so it's not totally another symbols. It's pretty much the same. That's the Fool, the Magician, ready to use all the tools he has, with beautiful energy floating around. The High Priestess, with the grenade fruit. It is really a mixture, or looks a little bit like natural pictures and the collage with some decorations. It is really lovely deck. This was the same. This is the Empress, the same as it was in a box. Yeah. And I think I would like to show you as well the Emperor. They have the same shield with their own symbol, of course, for each card, for the Empress and for the Emperor. So as I said before, They are very Rider-Waite-Smith deck. The Hierophant. They are very beautiful. And I can tell you, and the Lovers, I have several cards in this deck. I'm using it for almost a month. And several cards are really spoken to me. But in general, when you use this deck for reading, for trying it first, then you can see the real depth of it, the meaning. But you have to, sometimes you have to look much closer into the card to see all the elements which are in the card. These are the Lovers. The Chariot. The Strength, the young woman and the very old lion bounded together with the ivy and the flowers. So beautiful. The Hermit, to find the light, the little star inside. Yeah. The Wheel of Fortune. You can see the Ouroboros all the way around, the wheel with 4 seasons and the 12 zodiac signs. Beautiful card. And this is one of the purple cards, or violet color cards. And in general, this color is not my favorite, but in this deck, it is so beautiful. It presents so much energy, and it is really beautiful. Yeah, this is another one of my favorite card in this deck is the Justice. She's solid, strong, solid still, just looking straight forward. Doesn't matter what is actually on a scale. So this is just giving the justice. What you have given, you will get. The Hangman. And maybe I just mention one more thing or 2 more things. First of all, the cards are rather flexible. They are not very thick, but also not very thin. It's very easy to work with them. Nevertheless, when they were brand new, they were rather smooth. So shuffling them was rather, maybe not difficult, but the cards was actually flying around. So, and they are more or less size of the standard deck. The Hangman. Look at the beautiful green, deep green waters beneath him. Yeah, and the Death. This is another one of my beautiful, the most beautiful cards in this deck. It's not just, we all know what death is. It's not just about dying, but about something new is going to happen. But it means also that something old needs to go away. And this is really shown in a beautiful way. Here beneath, I don't know if you can see that. Beneath you can see the bones and the little Scorpio. Then above or behind the death, light, there's something new is coming, the bird and the white horse. But the death itself, you can't see. It's just the image of the person in the black cloth. Yeah. The Temperance. She's mixing 2 different, or pouring from one to another, receiving something totally new. Yeah, and the Devil. The Devil is another one of my favorite cards in this deck. I hope you can focus and you can see that the Devil is, especially look at his face. He has a little smile, little look on his eyes. It really tempting you, right? We all have a little bit of the dark side as well within ourselves. So this card is really, really great. The Tower. Some of the cards in this deck you will see much more like a picture. not only about the collage or the drawing or painting. This is more like a picture, especially here in the tower. You can see the energy, yeah, you can say the energy of destruction or disturbance. It's starting from the outside, so then depends how I'm going to deal with it. The Star, beautiful card. Again, the purple, the blue and the purple. Yeah. And again, the same color game in the Moon card. So lovely. I hope you can see there are two little creatures sitting in front of the gate. The Sun, the two kids playing, and not playing, yeah, maybe playing, but sitting and looking straight into the sun. There's a little flower in the middle of the sun, the zodiac sign, the butterflies all the way around. Beautiful card. And the Judgment. This is another one of my most beautiful cards, one of my favorite in this deck. We all know how the Judgment is presented in the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot, so it is totally different. It's like an angel, you know. Of course, we have a call, but we also have something, something as a promise. The World. This card looks rather modern, and at the beginning I wasn't sure if it's okay with me. But when you look at it deeply, when you will see it among the other cards, it is definitely working. Then you can see all the four symbols. Is the wings, the claws, the teeth and the horns. That was the major arcana. And then we will go into the minor. All the minor arcana, like the wands, swords, pentacles and cups, they are more or less, some of them are very similar colors, but there are some differences in them, so you can also recognize them very easy. The Ace of Wands, Two of Wands, the Three, waiting for the ship to come. Yeah. Again, the Four of Wands is a rather classical presentation or representation of this card, of the meaning of the card and the symbols. Yeah, the Five of Wands is another card that I like very much, because even though the wands are looking like it points, they are pointing in the same direction, but the energy that flows or create after that impact, it can go in many different directions. It is really nice, and these kind of things you will notice when you will have you will use it, this deck, in some certain spread or to answer some questions. You will see quite a lot of additional meanings. Six of Wands. Oh yeah, Seven of Wands. The lady is just waiting, protecting her home, waiting for someone to come. The Eight of Wands, rather classical, the movement in one direction, the action, the speed, the fiery. Yeah. The Nine of Wands. And the 10th of Wands. And then we have a court cards. There's the Page and Knight. Yeah, there is much more action, you know. It's quite a dynamic in here. You can see even the ground is moving away from the horse. Yeah. The Queen and the King. Very fiery. Look, when you put them together, it looks like they are standing in one balcony. I haven't even noticed it earlier. Yeah. Beautiful. Then we have the Swords. Yeah, much colder, much cooler energy around the cards, as we know. And there are two more cards that I like very much from the Swords. that I would like to show you, because we all know that the swords are mostly connected to our mind, to our not imagination, but what we are keeping and imagining in our mind, in our heads. Yeah. And the Two of Swords, also rather classical. You just have to go within yourself, and then you will be able to see clearly something else. Yeah. The Three of Swords, yeah. It's maybe these three swords not piercing the heart this time. They are piercing the rose, and the rose is also bleeding. There's a lot of rain, a lot of sorrow, but it's still a sword, and it doesn't mean that it is actually what we see. Yeah, this is another one that I like very much. It's not only requiring a quiet, a peace inside yourself, right? So to meditate, or to accommodate the things that are going on all around you. So it's really nice representation of this card. The Five of Swords. Yeah, the Six of Swords, again, the classical way, the boat, that it's actually you're leaving something difficult behind you. Then you're going into the new, brighter time. The Seven of Swords. Yeah, and this one I like very much as well. It shows clearly how the swords represent our head, our mind. But the lady in here is with the eyes tightened and surrounded with the swords, and doesn't see any way out. When we don't open our eyes and we don't look clearly again, we will feel like we are trapped in here. Well, actually, in between the swords, you can always find some solution, some way out of it. Nine of Swords. And the Ten of Swords. And then we have a court cards. Is the Page and the Knight. Another kind of action, dynamic. Then in Wands is still a lot of movement, a lot of action, but not so fiery as it was in the Knight of Swords, Nine of Wands. The Queen and the King. Again, when you look at it, I really haven't noticed it before when you match them together. It looks like they are standing in the same balcony. So lovely. And then we have a Pentacles, another element, another colors, another energy. Here in the Pentacles you can see quite a lot of symbols. I'm not quite sure if my camera can catch that. With a little bunny in here. Yeah. Lovely. Yeah, and this is another one of my favorite in this deck, the Two of Pentacles. In general, I call the Two of Pentacles the wind of change, the wind of change that has started to manifest. And of course you can see the wind, you can see the waves, the sea, the water, the movement, but actually what is very interesting to me and what I like the most is this energy between these two pentacles. And that's why I like this card very much, and I'm still going to call it the wind of change, the beginning. It's not the action yet, but it's the wind of change. The Three of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles, and this is again like almost like a picture. Yeah, there is a lady who is hiding something away from the city, away from the people, in the chest closed with a key. So she's hiding her treasure. And the Five of Pentacles, rather classical way of representation of this card. Six of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles, the lady just waiting to be able to pick up the fruits. 8 of Pentacles, Nine, with the eagle with covered head. The grapes are on the both sides. It's a beautiful card. In general, this deck is really beautiful. I like it so much. The 10 of Pentacles. And again, we have a court cards. You see a different energy is the page and the knight. The Pentacles energy, the Pentacles action, the Knight of Pentacles. It's actually acting in more common sense ways, much more slowly than, for example, Wands or Swords. Beautiful. Queen and the King. Yeah, and again, I really haven't noticed it before. It looks like it's almost the same. Almost the same. Oh yeah. The same balcony. Beautiful. And then we have the Cups. Ace of Cups. The symbolism in these cards are rather classical. So much Rider-Waite, Smith Tarot. Yeah, this is also one of my favorite cards. It's a love itself. It's not only to people, to the world, to the creatures, the dolphins. These are the representation of it. The feminine symbol in here. The cups are actually diving in the water, but the water is coming out of those cups. They are full of it. Beautiful. With a planet, whole planet around or behind. A 3 of Cups. The full of joy. 4. And the 5 of Cups. In general, it's presented in the similar way that the person or the character in the card is actually sad or sorrow or crying and not noticing that not all of the cups are empty or full and you have still something left. Yeah, really nice. The 6 of Cups. Yeah, the fullness of different kind of herbs and flowers. And the 7 of Cups. This is also very, very nice card. I like it so much. It has a lot of different elements in the cups. And the person is just sitting and wondering, what should I choose? Or do I actually seeing what I have or wanted to have something what I can't reach? So this is quite a few dilemmas. 8 of Cups. I really like the cards in this deck which are in the night time, in the full moon. The sky looks beautiful, the reflections in the water. Lovely. And the 9 of Cups. She's sitting surrounded with all these beautiful, full of goodies, cups, and it's okay to be happy for a moment. Just remember that you can't just sit and look for your beauty. You have to do something. You have to do some actions, and so elsewise you might actually lose it. Oh, and the 10 of Cups. The Swan family. Beautiful. And then we have a court cards. Let's see. The page and the knight. And then we have a queen and king. Let me see if it will fit in this way. Oh yeah, it's even more beautiful. I really haven't noticed it before. Lovely. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching. It was the Thelema Tarot deck. And please forgive me if it wasn't perfect. It was my first video ever. Thank you very much. Bye.